Hi there, crafty peeps. Enis here from Paper Crafting with Enis, and I'm on today with a BEEBEECRAFT project that I am doing as part of their YouTube collaboration program. And you can see that I'm going to be using this beautiful set of beads that I got from them. Before I talk about the beads and the project we're going to do, I just want to remind you a little bit about BEEBEECRAFT. They are an online shopping website that has thousands and thousands and thousands of beautiful crafting items. You can find anything from beadwork to jewelry to diamond painting, resin work, sewing. I mean, all kinds of stuff there. There's something there for everybody who's a crafter. And I did want to mention that I am a BEEBEECRAFT collaborator, and if you have a YouTube channel and make videos with your own crafting projects and have 100 or more subscribers, you are eligible to apply to their collaboration program. So what that means is if you meet those qualifications, you will click on the link I have in the description box below, fill out the application, and if you're accepted by BEEBEECRAFT to collaborate with them, they will give you a spending allowance where you can choose product for free and they will ship it to you for free. And all you need to do in exchange is talk a little bit about their website as well as the YouTube program and produce craft videos for them. So that's what we're doing here today. So with that out of the way, I did want to mention that the bead set that we're using today, and let me grab my paper here. Oops, sorry, I got beads going all over the place. This set was actually regular price $14.49, which is a little bit high for some things, I think, but you know, they always have sales going on. They always have coupons, and I did want to remind you that I do have a coupon. It's Enis10, and it's worth 10% off all orders. So if you are interested in buying anything from them, I would appreciate you using that code. I don't receive anything from it, but it does let BEEBEECRAFT know that people are watching my videos, and it's worth their while to keep me in the program. So anyway, this package of beads came with the lobster claw clasps, came with a spool of the stretchy string, this bag of metal beads, and I think these are probably an 8 or a 10 millimeter bead. It came with the bag of chain. There might be some jump rings in here too, I'm not sure. And it came with 60 mixed beads. And besides the colorful and different types of beads you have in here, from the berry beads and the shimmer beads and the polka dot beads, you also have some heart-shaped beads. So this is a really, really fun set. Like I said, it was $14.49, but they always have sales going on. They also have other sets with different color beads for different themes. Yeah, there's something for everybody. So anyway, we're going to be using these beads today. We will not be using these items, so I'm going to put this aside. So what we're going to make today is a Valentine beaded garland. Okay, so let me just show you the other products I'm going to be using. So from my stash, I had this container of wooden beads, and I'm using several of these white wooden beads to separate some of these colored beads here. So I'm going to use some of those. I am also using some Dollar Tree ribbon, and this is the one I picked up recently. It's got the velour stripe down the middle. I think it's really, really pretty. We're going to use about 58 to 60 inches of twine, and this one happens to be a cotton red and white twine. And what I did was I doubled it over. Okay, so it's probably about 29 inches. So with the ends, so that I can use this as a threading tool, I did put wax on the ends of the twine here so that it will go through the beads a little bit better. So hopefully that will work out for me. I also chose this pretty red fabric with the little hearts on it, and you can see some of the hearts have sparkly glitter on them. And from this die set from KS Craft, and I believe this one is relatively new, it either came out in November or December, it is the Heart Valentine Heart Memdex card. And the piece that I'm going to use today is this piece here. And really what I'm going to do with this is I'm using it as a template to draw out some hearts so I can get them in a nice shape. And the hearts that I'm going to make are going to be stuffed with some fiberfill, and they actually probably won't be as big as this. They're going to be smaller because I'm going to have to have some seam allowance in my sewing. So those are the products that we're using. So let me just push some of this out of the way. And, oh, I don't need this. So I did already take a couple pieces of fabric and drew out the hearts. So you can see that there. And we need 4 pieces because 2 will make one heart, 2 will make another heart. So I've got an extra piece of fabric here and a heart right there. So that's going to be one complete heart. And then I'm going to fold this bigger piece over, and when I cut, I'm going to cut through 2 layers, and so I'll get another heart there. So give me a couple minutes to do my cutting, and I will be right back. Okay, you can see that I have my hearts cut out, and I've just used some clips to pin around the edge to keep my layers together. I do want to mention that I have right sides together because when we're done sewing, we're going to turn this right side out. So I'm going to clip that on there, and I am going to hop over to my sewing machine and get sewing. So give me just a couple minutes. Okay, so here I am at my sewing machine. I've already got it threaded on the top and in the bobbin with red thread. And when I sew this, I'm going to leave about this much unsewn because that's where I'm going to stuff the heart with, and also where I'm going to add the twine so I can keep the ends together. So let me just get this lined up, drop my needle, and get sewing. So hold on a second. And this is probably not going to be perfect, and that's okay. And by the way, if you decide to make a project like this, you can actually buy some little hearts already made up, or some other kind of trinkets or something. I just decided I wanted to use up some of my fabric scraps and stitch out these little hearts. Okay. So one heart is stitched, and give me a few minutes and I will be right back with the other one. Okay, so my hearts are sewn, and we're going to head back over to my work area. Okay, so here are my little hearts. Let me just snip off these extra threads. And while on crafting projects I do like to leave the longer threads, on sewing projects it's not always a very good idea. So let me just snip these off. Okay, and the next thing I need to do, when you're sewing curves, you need to clip your curves, and when you have a point, you need to kind of take a little bit of the point off so that when you turn the project right side out, it lays properly. So let me just clip up my curves here. And like I said while I was stitching, you don't have to sew your own hearts. You're more than welcome. I'm just going to nip that down a tiny bit. You're more than welcome to use a pre-made item. You can use little tiny pillows. You can use dangles. Whatever it is you want to put on here. I notice like Dollar Tree and some of the other places that sell these types of garlands have wood pieces hanging off the bottom. Okay, so that's one all trimmed up, and I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to trim the other one up. So give me a minute. I'll be right back. So now that I have them trimmed up and I have my clips all done, I'm going to turn these right side out. And it's a little bit difficult sometimes to turn things right side out through a teeny tiny little hole. So it's going to look worse before it gets better. Okay. All right. And like I said, this is a different kind of project, and I hope that it turns out good. Okay. Sometimes you have to use a little tool or something to push out all of the curves and the points. So that's what I'm doing here with the end of my pen. I'm just pushing out all of the edges so that the heart actually looks like a heart. Okay. Okay, that's one. And I know it looks a little funky in the middle here, but that's because we have this opening, and that will all get turned inside after it's stuffed and we have our twine put in there. Okay, so let me get the other one turned out. Okay, so my hearts are about ready, and I am not going to stuff them yet. I'm going to hold off on doing that until after the beading is all set. Okay, so I'm just going to set those aside. So I just added my beads to this tray here, and I have them in the order that I want them in. I'm going to start here and work my way around. And then I took my twine and I just tied a little knot at the end there, so when I'm putting my beads on, they don't fall off the end. Okay, so that's all that is. So hopefully this will go okay. We're going to give it a try. All right, so start out with the white one. That one went on real good, but the wooden beads have a larger hole in them than the acrylic beads do. So here's the next one. Okay. So they seem to be threading pretty well. Uh-oh. This bead looks like the hole is... something's wrong with the hole. Let me see if I have another one. Okay, that one is better, I think. Okay. And I have to twist the twine a little bit to get it to go through, but it does go through. Okay, so here is our start. So I'm just going to continue threading my beads on, and I'm going to speed the camera up so you guys don't have to watch me painstakingly add all of these beads. Okay, so with that, just sit back and relax. Have yourself a nice hot cocoa or a coffee, and just enjoy seeing me add these beads. And when I'm done adding the beads, we'll be ready for the next step. Okay, so see you in a bit, crafty peeps. Okay, peeps, you can see here that I have all of my beads attached to my twine, and you probably noticed while I was adding them to the twine that I had to switch some beads out because some of these beads, most particularly these, the holes were too small for me to get the twine through. So I did have to make a few changes, although this bead did go through and so did that one, so I don't know why the rest didn't. But anyway, so I have also threaded a sewing needle because I'm going to have to sew these closed, and I cut a couple of lengths of this pretty ribbon. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make my bows. So if you've never handmade a bow before, this is kind of how I do them, and it works best if it's a two-sided ribbon where it's the same on both sides. This one is not the same on both sides, so I'm going to have to make a small adjustment, but you'll see how I do that. So I'm going to leave a little tail hanging off and put my fingers in a V shape, wrap it around the back, push the tail in between the V and bring it up in the back. And then this time we're going to take this tail and we're going to tuck it, and this is a tricky part for some people. We're going to go under here and out here. We're not going to come under here again. We're actually going under this loop right here. So let me, oh, and while I'm doing that, by the way, I'm going to twist this. And the reason I'm twisting it is because this is a single-sided ribbon. So I'm going to tuck it under there and then bring it out. This ribbon is slippery because of the velour that's on it. So let me try that one more time. I'm going to tuck it in and then pull it out on this side. And I'm going to pull it really, really tight. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to slip these off my fingers, pull my bow nice and tight, and there you have it. Okay, so there's my little bow. And what's going to happen is I'm going to add those at the tops of my hearts here. So that's kind of going to hide my hand stitching as well as the place where I'm inserting the twine into the heart. Okay. So let me just trim up the ends here so they look pretty. Okay. And if your ribbon is fraying, you can just take a lighter and quickly go over the edges and it will melt it and seal the threads. It'll also burn off any excess that's sticking out. Okay, so there's one of my bows. And I'm going to do the other ones. Okay, so I have my two bows. I am back. I have my needle threaded. I have my two bows. I chose a couple of cabochons, which I'm going to try to attach to the center of these bows. And I've got my fiber fill. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to fluff this apart and I'm going to stuff my hearts. So give me a minute to get that going. And remember, the hole is kind of small, so it's going to take a little bit for me to get this in here. Okay, so I have my little hearts all stuffed, and I'm going to take one of the ends. This one might be a little overstuffed, so I'm going to take some out. Okay, I'm going to take one of the ends here, and it does have the knot on there, and I'm just going to tuck that inside. Right. So now I am going to go off camera, and I'm going to slip stitch the little hearts closed, okay? Okay, crafty peeps, so I have my heart sewn, I've got my bows attached, and now I am attaching my little cabochons to the bows, and I'm hoping these will actually stay. I'm using the Beacon 3-in-1 Advanced Craft Glue, and this is good for all kinds of projects. So I use this when I need a real good bond. Hopefully it is going to hold these little cabochons onto the bows. Just tuck that in right there. And of course it's going to take a little bit of time to dry. Close my glue up. Okay, so here is my beaded garland. Okay, these are all the beads I have left over. So I'm just going to put those aside. And so here's my little hearts with the bows and the little cabochons on there. And of course, like I said, that glue's got to dry for those cabochons. It's not dry yet because I just glued them on, but those are super, super cute. And here is the garland. Isn't that pretty? I do have all of the large, I think these are 20mm bubblegum beads that came from BEEBEECRAFT, and then these little round wooden beads here are probably, I think these might be a 16mm, and these actually came from the Dollar Tree, as did all of the rest of these. These actually came from garlands that I paid $1.25 for, and then I just took the beads off so I could use them for other projects. So anyway, here is the completed garland, and you can see the cute little hearts that I sewed. And like I said, I used a die from KS Craft just to get an outline there for a template. I handmade the bows and hand sewed everything closed. I beaded up all the beads, and I think I did mention earlier that some of the beads I had chosen to go on here wouldn't fit on the twine, so I had to make a few substitutes, but that's okay because I think it turned out gorgeous anyway. And let me just measure this from end to end, from heart to heart. This is 26 inches long, so it's plenty long enough for you to hang on like a tiered tray, or maybe just a small area on a mantle, or wherever you'd like to put it, maybe hanging off of a vase of flowers. I think it's really, really pretty. I hope you enjoyed this project. It was a lot of fun to make. It is very different than most of the BEEBEECRAFT projects that I've done in the past. And as I mentioned on my unboxing video, this is actually going to be a giveaway. So for everybody who is 18 years or older, has a US mailing address, is a subscriber to my channel, if you leave me a comment down below, and I would also love it if you'd hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think about this project. Tell me how you might use this project, and you will be entered to win it. I will have one winner for this giveaway, and I think I will give this away on January 17th. So be watching for a video on January 17th with the reveal of who is the winner of this cute beaded garland. And I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me today, for watching this video. I hope you really like it. And if you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love it if you'd hit that subscribe button, because I am going to have some more BEEBEECRAFT projects and giveaways coming up in the coming weeks. And I would love to be able to give one to a new subby. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye, and I will catch you all later on the next crafty video. See you later, crafty peeps. Bye.